Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fifth live B2B e-commerce tech talk session. So for those who do not know me yet, my name is Arno. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at Sana Commerce. I have with me Emilie. Hi, Emilie.
Hi, everyone.
So as always, I wish to get a monthly with people in IT and tech enthusiasts. So talking, helping each other on the trending topics, because that's what I love to do as a graduated computer engineer, right? So for those that were not there the last 4 times, the concept is pretty straightforward. Every month we cover 1 or 2 main agenda topics based on what's going on the market, what's happening with our customers. We will, or we get questions up front. We will share our experience. We ask the audience, and they are sharing as well. So how we can help each other in the virtual room, right? That is all about. So if you apply for the series, you will receive the agenda during the week of the Tech Talk, and you can decide if the topics are of your interest to join via the link in the agenda invitation, or just drop by on LinkedIn nowadays as well. We are broadcasting live on LinkedIn. It will be on your timeline, and you can just join whenever you want. So don't worry if you can make it for this session or the whole session. The audio will be shared on our latest podcast channel, which is called now B2B e-commerce integrated, the untold perspective of IT leaders. So please subscribe for this channel to get latest updates on episodes around all the topics related to B2B e-commerce technology for IT leaders. So the video is shared on YouTube channel on our YouTube channel as well. So plenty of opportunities to watch this content. So Emilie, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Arno. Well, beforehand, I'd like to introduce myself. So I will remove my headset because I can still hear Arno with a delay and it's confusing. But so I want to introduce myself. I'm Emilie Dubau. I'm the Director of Customer Success for Sana. And I've been here for 5 years, which means that for the last 5 years, I've been focusing on making our customers more successful. But today I'll be a moderator. So I'll be here to ask Arno some questions, and I'll be here to see if you have questions and share these questions with Arno. So the way we do it, if you are on Zoom with us, you can post your questions in the chat, and I'll happily unmute you if you want to speak up and have a bit of an exchange with Arno. If you are on LinkedIn, you can post your comments, and I'll ask the questions to Arno. Last time was the first time actually we did it live on LinkedIn, and it went so well that's why we're bringing it back on LinkedIn once again. So thank you for watching from there also. If we cannot answer all your questions, that's possible. No worries, we'll find a way to get an answer to you, either by replying directly after the presentation, or by using it as a topic for a follow-up tech talk. If you've been with us for the last sessions, we've introduced a new framework, and where we talk about what our customers can achieve, or what people can achieve in general, actually, with e-commerce, not only our customers, with B2B e-commerce. And we have been through the first 2 topics already, which is increasing your revenue as a company and driving your customer loyalty. And today we want to focus on how to work more efficiently and cost. And specifically, the topic of today is saying goodbye to all the errors with the right software. So, Arno, let's get started. I have already a question for you, because this is about IT leaders, right? It's for IT people. So do you know how much time actually an IT leader devotes to fixing all the issues for the commercial team?
Yeah, actually we do, because honestly, we have recently done a huge research together with Sepio. It's a research company, and interviewing over 1,000 IT leaders all over the world, not our customers, but just in general. So not only our customers, but IT leaders in general. And I would say, shockingly enough, 25% of them, they said all of the tickets they are getting in on a daily basis, monthly basis, etc., was due to order errors in relation, if they're looking at their tickets from their commercial tools or the e-commerce tooling and so on. So that is actually quite something, I would say, and that's why it's also a nice topic for today to talk about. So maybe to give it a little bit more tangible things, so to share a couple of stories there. So actually just jumped off of another podcast recording. This time it was with Marco from Holu.com. podcast will be published in a couple of weeks, but I can already share because it was a nice conversation with Marco is the IT leader of Holu, that he actually spends no time on fixing order errors. So of course they are using Sana, but the main reason why is I think the fact that the systems are integrated, right? So everything what is happening online is happening offline, so in the ERP and vice versa. But how was it before? Now, actually, Marco is coming from a world where before they didn't had e-commerce at all. So they are what we call first generation B2B e-commerce. And that's the first try. So, but they before they had actually a lot of manual labor. And also, it's when humans are involved, errors are involved as well. They were just salespeople, or they were salespeople on the road, driving by the different hotels as most of their customers. They are in cleaning business, let's say, so manufacturing of cleaning supplies. And salespeople driving by the customers in the hotel saying, okay, I need this, need that. Yeah, they write down what they need, go back home, look at the notes, fill in this order, then it gets delivered at some point in time. It's a manual process, errors are there, right? So that is that is still happening. So now luckily they are already a couple of years online and everything is automated, and they directly choose the right way, right? The right software to do so. But we also had a couple of samples where that was not the case. So second story I want to share on this question is actually from Motor Direct, because maybe you have, if you listen to my channel, you have seen the podcast with Richard. Richard is the IT leader from Motor Direct. It's a manufacturing of motorcycle clothing and the different accessories around it. And they are with Sana on a second generation, I would say. So they had another platform before. And their former, and what's the story behind it? The previous solution, their former marketing manager was actually pushing a mainstream e-commerce solution, which was more optimized for business to consumer scenarios. And they wanted to serve their clients online with B2B as well. And this marketing manager had B2C experience with that platform. So, but Motor Direct is having a complicated pricing model for the B2B clients, and also the ordering and around it was a bit more complex, and everything was stored in ERP. I'm not sure if you know it, but with fashion, it's sometimes with seasonality, and you need to, order in for a certain season and so on and so on. So all stored in their ERP, but that could not be replicated to their B2B web store because the platform was not allowing that. So what's happening? And most of the time, that's what I hear a lot also, and that happens with Motor Direct as well. When they actually go live, then they are going to experience the real troubles, right? Because customers are placing orders, pricing is not correct, quantity is not correct, or there's also some other errors. And what's going to happen then? People start calling, right? First of all, the customers start calling and complaining, but then it's salespeople or the sales rep, because most of the time they take the phone or customer service, and they are going to IT, say, hey, what's going on there, right? And that can pile up. And that's the 25% where we're actually talking about. So I thought, maybe 2 stories from real life would be nice as a start, right?
Yeah, and I think you're right in saying, well, IT basically gets the heat from the other departments, because we see also in one of our recent B2B Bio report is that I've read that order errors cost an average of $1.8 million each year to businesses. So that's I'm sure they can feel the heat of that from the other departments. Just a small update for those of you joining. So know that you can put your questions via LinkedIn or via Zoom, and I'll make sure to get them answered. In the meantime, we talked about that, the ERP integration and the fact that all your data is aligned between your systems. So how can synchronized data prevent all the errors and returns?
So let's talk a little bit more technical. So what is actually the root cause of all of this? So in B2B, things are getting complex. If you talk about pricing or if you're talking about stock, so it takes pricing. I always like to use that sample. So if you have around, let's say 5,000 different products that you're selling, and 10,000 active customers that can buy from you. It's a typical, let's say, B2B scenario, but they have different pricing terms. it can happen that you're ending up in, let's say, millions of pricing records that needs to be synchronized. Meaning that if you need to do that also multiple times nowadays per day or per week or even per month, that can still be a big issue to transfer, let's say, data from system A to system B. That's, even though the current technology, that's still quite a challenge. Anything can go wrong, or you're missing a couple of lines, or it's just too much data, it takes too long, etc., etc. So what's happening there then is that if these systems are not synchronized, well, you get troubles, right? If the prices are not updated, for example, and order is being placed or is going to be placed at a later stage. So the customer orders something, then it needs to go to an ERP system in a later stage, and there is a difference. Yeah, it breaks or it doesn't accept it. That's most of the time practical what I've seen. What happens then? The order is stuck. So if you have an intelligent monitoring or at least some logging, you will see it as an IT manager and say, hey, I need to fix this. The synchronization or the integration is not working. Or even worse, but that's what I'm seeing also often, is that the customer says, yeah, I placed an order, but it's not coming, right? It's not there. So that is one example. Another example, same story applies for stock, and I think in B2B scenarios, stock needs to be real time because it can change often with especially now with the resource shortages. So it's hard to produce something now, so it can run out of stock quickly. Yeah, there is nothing so frustrating for a customer that they order something, and in the end they get the message, sorry, but it was actually out of stock, right? So you need to share that message, but that needs to be actually real time, because if you need to synchronize the data as well, once again, for 5,000 products or something, maybe it's doable because you have 5 different stock levels to maintain. But it gets complex, which is happening with B2B again. If you are giving stock levels per customer, for example, because you have a relationship with them, you say, okay, for Emilie, I have a certain stock level, and for Arno, I have a certain stock level for the same product, right? It already gets a little bit more complicated. It also gets very complicated if you have a huge amount of products. So let's say 100,000 or even up to 1 million of products that needs to be synchronized. And then I say, it's better it needs to be done real time, because if you need to transfer the data between systems, that is just a mission on its own. And if that gets stuck, the whole process gets stuck. You will see it in the monitoring again, but probably orders are already being placed with wrong numbers. So that is why it is so important to have these things, working with the same single source of truth, as we call it with Sana. And that counts for pricing, stock, and transaction. That is an essential ingredient for B2B e-commerce.
And what I've heard, I was just also in a call with a customer, and also delivery times becoming also really critical information to have to avoid errors, because where you used to have delivery times of 4 weeks, you now have 6 months delivery times. And your customers need to know, because they might or might not place the right order depending on this.
Transparency is key in this kind of things, and the relationship is key, right? So it is such a big difference with B2C, and I always like to make the compare, because we are all ordering online, and if you're placing an order on Amazon, you probably need something or at another place, and sometimes that fails, but the next time you just maybe you take something else, right? But if you're a B2B buyer, you're buying very frequent at a certain place, and you really want to build a good relation with these B2B buyers, because first of all, they can also go to somewhere else. But the point is, if you keep them and stay with them, they are much more, they are placing repeat orders all the time. Sometimes it's even our family-owned business and having different relationships already for many years, right? So you want to keep that, alive for your success, and that's actually resulting in improved commercial success.
And one of the results sometimes of other errors is returns.
True.
You have to manage your returns, but maybe e-commerce can help with that. Can you maybe tell us a bit more how you can easily arrange return marginalized authorization, RMA, online, so that your customers can self-serve with that?
So maybe that is one. And another one I also want to highlight is actually edit order functionality. So these two things I think are also key ingredients for a successful B2B e-commerce solution or an e-commerce website. So why these two features or these two functionalities are a must-have? So first of all, let's talk about added order. So the moment you place an order, we often see in B2B that, I made a mistake, right? Everybody, it's happening. I didn't need to order this, I needed that. And especially in business, that happens. You make quickly a mistake in which spare part you need to take, etc., etc. So you do not want to, if you cannot change that, you don't want to call the customer service. You want to fix that error yourself. So to edit an order is actually a crucial functionality, and we are actually offering that in the platform. So as long as the order is not shipped, you can. Most of our customers are allowed to edit the order, which I think is helping them preventing a lot of troubles. So that is one. The second one is indeed automating the returns. So if then the case is that something is ordered wrongly in that sense, and that is then most of the time not because of a technical issue, but because of a human error, let's say it like that, then how nice it is if you can arrange the return also digitally to save, on one hand, to give the B2B buyer the power to do that by themselves. And on the other end, of course, for you as a B2B company, to save a huge amount of time, not to handle this process with, picking up the phone, working on that return, etc., etc. So we have also a couple of customer scenarios for that later on that relates to that. So I will hold it a little bit for later. It's a nice one, nice story.
Nice. Looking forward to hearing these. But before I want to, we said at the beginning, IT teams, they have about 25% of all their tickets are due to order errors.
Yeah.
So how can they change that? And then how much budget, resources, and time can they save by doing it right?
Yeah. So first of all, I would say the goal is actually what Marco is having, right? So to spend no time on fixing order errors, especially time on the technical aspects of order errors. That should be nowadays, in my opinion, or in our opinion, fully automated. It's a waste of time, and we can prevent that with choosing the right technology. So, having said that, then there is still that fact. Okay, but if you're not spending time there, then probably you're spending a lot of time on the integrations to make this all happen, and that is an interesting topic as well. We have, investigated this as well in the report, and what we have seen is that 37% of the budget of new B2B e-commerce implementations is spent on integrations, and that's also, in my opinion, quite a huge amount. And especially if you know that, quite a big part of these projects fail because this integration was just bespoke work, not really integrated. Let's say, so with the backend system, it was more like connecting the APIs, and there is a lot of maintenance still around that. That is also something I discussed with Marco. Was really nice about what does this maintenance entails, but keeping the security up to date, making sure that these systems work together, etc., etc. So, but if you take a solution, and I think that's our philosophy, if you take a solution where integration is part of this of the B2B e-commerce, and we are taking care of that part, you can save a huge portion. Yeah, of course, you pay for as a license, right? But I would say it's included in that license. So we have comparable pricing with our competitors, but this part, integration, is included. What do you get for that money? Now, we make sure it's secure. We make sure that we're supporting the versions you are having on your ERP, the older ones or the new ones, or even the SaaS ones, which are continuously updated and upgraded. We make sure that it's certified. We make sure that it is adapted to your situations. We make sure if the ERP vendors are adding functionality, that we will add it as well, and so on, and so on, and so on. So I would say that, how much budget can you save? I would say a huge portion of the 37%. We didn't ask it yet, but I'm definitely gonna investigate it as well for the customers that are for actually our customers, that how much they are spending now. Because I believe they are not spending extra time on this. It was just part of the implementation. And yeah, maybe also then the resources. Yeah, you mentioned as well, right? So how much resources time can be saved? Yeah, we have seen samples like, for example, Alberto from Hawk Industries that I interviewed also a couple of episodes ago. That was a reasonably sized business, but still he was running it on its own, like an IT manager running it on its own. So definitely, I would always say you need at least 1 or 2 as a minimum to run B2B e-commerce, even though if you're a small company. But if you want to take B2B e-commerce serious, you need to at least have 1 or 2 dedicated resources for that, preferably 1 e-commerce manager and 1 IT person leading or managing the project together. But it is possible in the case with Alberto that it was a one-man band. He was actually taking care of everything, internal IT, the e-commerce, B2B e-commerce side, fully integrated, the ERP itself, which was a cloud version of Microsoft Dynamics, so also low maintenance. So there are stories, real life stories that it is possible. So, and of course, if your company is bigger or it's growing, you see dedicated e-commerce teams, but I would say they should not work or spend their time. And that's also what we're seeing at our customers. They should not spend their time on, let's say, getting data or information from system A to B. No, they should make sure that they are just working on a piece of data in a product information management system or in the ERP to make that perfect for their business, optimize it a lot, because there they can have that value add, and not spend time on, bringing that stuff to all those different systems. So, but yeah, looking at the report again, if you have not these integrated solutions in place, we know that on average, let's say 3 people are involved in the integrations around these platforms and fixing issues, and devote around 40% of their time to this. So also there is a big part to win, I would say, right?
And if you want to, by the way, find these numbers again, I just added in the chat the link to the report. So feel free to download it and have a look. Let me check 2 seconds. I don't think we have questions coming in. Well, maybe not a question, but it's someone mentioning something, and I want to get your take on it. Mm-hmm. Wasim is mentioning on LinkedIn that other errors can always be avoided when human resource is involved with the process.
Mm-hmm. I would not say that is completely true, because I have seen the practicalities that when you add humans to a process, it actually the one thing, and it's including me, the one thing that we are doing as humans is we make mistakes, right? You can just not avoid it. I think maybe today I also make many mistakes, right? So the difference is with a computer or a human being is, and that was what I learned actually. Rule number 1 when you're going to study computer science, for example, computers do not make mistakes, right? They will repeat what has been instructed, and if this instruction is okay, they will always repeat it many times in the same way and always correct. It's the humans that instructed wrongly, so okay, then you need to work on, but that needs to happen. Having said that, if it's about, let's say, so that's more on the technical aspects too. For example, if you talk about scenarios from taking fax or email orders and typing them over, right? That's very error prone. I think one in a couple in 100 orders or something that you need to copy, there will be a mistake. That is just, human error, not to prevent. If you're talking about selection, I can say that's maybe a little bit different, right? That customers need to select by themselves, and that there is still sometimes very complex scenarios that only humans can solve, let's say. So you can use AI or these kind of things to make the best predictions. Okay, you need this and this and this, but that is still a little bit too far away. So especially in complex B2B ordering, I can understand that, you need to prepare an order for a customer, let's say. So And as a sales rep, if you're, for example, ordering something very complex like an engine or a truck or something even bigger. So there humans are still, of course, playing a big part. But once it's in the system and the customer has checked it and the sales rep has checked it, that from there it is fixed and it is okay, right? So no mistakes from there. But indeed, the selection process, I would agree with them, especially B2B complex ordering. Yeah, humans are still needed to a certain extent.
Okay, so the big question now: how can we prevent these errors and returns?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so many different ways, of course, to do so. So first of all, let's take let's take the journey of a customer as the example, right? So first of all is the selection process. So make sure that you work on your product information, right? During that selection process, if you as a customer do not know what you need to order, or the description is wrong or something, that needs to be, pixel perfect, I always say. And especially in B2B, it is about complex products most of the time. So even more attention is needed for product information. If you have a bigger catalog, I think we have used that or discussed the topic before. Maybe it helps you to use a product information management system, right? That is dedicated to manage large amounts of product information and data in a good way. So the second thing is, pricing and stock levels needs to be real time and perfect. So that needs to come from an ERP system, and with B2B, there needs to be real time integrated to prevent that. And last but not least, make sure that people will make mistakes, but that they can automate it by themselves. Edit order or with RMA.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, we've also seen some other things, which is, especially if you're in a business where there's a lot of repeat orders, your customers have to order the same from you, is providing access to their previous orders so they can just copy that order is also very useful to prevent errors. Let me see if we have a bit, and I don't think we have questions on our different channels. So I have one more questions for you. We talked a lot about, well, of course, how it can help IT if we can reduce errors and returns. But what other positive outcomes can reducing returns and errors have on the business of our customers?
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's take here the example of a customer story. It's called Berg Toys. It's a toy manufacturer from the Netherlands. It's a customer of us. I think they make different outdoor toys like what is it, go-karts, or the small things, trampolines, or how you call it, everything for in the garden. Really nice company. And they're already customer for many years, but what it brought to them is they are having now already more than 80% of the orders are being processed online, right? And I would say, comparing to other customers that we are having or what we're seeing in general in the market, that's a big amount, right? That's pretty good. Awesome, actually. But what we have seen is that it is saving so much time on the customer service department in comparison with the situation before, that on average is 2 to 3 hours per day per service employee. So can you imagine that it is, that's for their size of company, it's a huge amount. And why? Because they do not call anymore for pricing information. Oh, I forgot to order this. Oh, I do not know where what the stock level is for this information. All that stuff. But especially also, I ordered something and the complete wrong product is delivered. Yeah, that's not happening anymore because you take another approach. So that for me was very, very, let's say, clear. Another aspect there is that is just in normal times. But can you imagine, and this is a toy company, so that's really related also to seasonality. If it is a peak season, so like with Christmas or any holidays, then normally these were very pressure times for these companies. But now, since the total amount of work on the customer service department dropped, it also lower these peaks a lot. So I think it's much more manageable, at least what we have seen when we were interviewing them. So yeah, I would say automation, using this integrated approach, with or without Sana, but in general, I think that is really, really helping companies doing B2B e-commerce, because I would say nice example, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I think also if everything we discussed today hasn't convinced you yet, another number, because we like the numbers today in the podcast. Another number I've read is that 37% of B2B buyers are experiencing order errors on a weekly basis.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's people like you and me, and we know how frustrated we are when we order on a normal website and there are errors. If we have that in our professional life on top of that, that's really a lot, and that has increased since 2019. Yeah. So I think that's really a critical subject.
Yeah, and to elaborate a little bit on that, I think that is, of course, if I have it all the time with when I'm ordering something online for myself at home as well. If you order something online, something can go wrong, right? That is part of the deal, unfortunately. Okay, it happens. You breathe 2 times, you order it again, and next day you have it. So what's the problem? That's okay. But with business to business, imagine that you order something and it is not delivered there. The biggest issue is that, you cannot continue your job. But more importantly, most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, you also need to explain to your customer that you're not going to finish the job, right? So there's double bad news, I would say, right? So I think that is if you need to do it even on a daily basis for your work, and then it's also going wrong, that's something we need to prevent. And there are ways to prevent.
Yeah. Thank you, Arno. I think that's it for today. We don't have any other questions. So I want to thank you. And looking forward to the next one, where we will talk quality. We haven't decided yet, right?
Okay, I know.
I just hope we will feel better, because we were both
because today, so. We don't have COVID. I was tested, but
exactly.
At least it's the season again, right? If you're having kids, then everybody is coughing in home.
Coming already. So,
all right.
I hope we feel better next time, and
hopefully.
See you.
See you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.